Good morning, everyone. Every new day is a gift, a quiet opportunity to start again, to reset, and to reconnect with the person we are becoming. Before the world places its demands on you, before the noise of the day steals your focus, take a moment to center yourself. Because what you tell yourself every morning shapes your mindset, your decisions, and your destiny. Here are 12 powerful things you must remind yourself every single morning, not just as words, but as truths to carry in your heart. 1. I am grateful to wake up today. These words may seem simple, but they hold the weight of something sacred. Each morning, when we open our eyes, we're not just waking up, we're being given another chance. A chance to live, to love, to try again. Life is not guaranteed, not promised, and certainly not owed. And yet, here we are, breathing, present, alive. That alone is something to honor, something to cherish, something to thank the universe, life, or God for, even before we do anything else. Too often we wake up and immediately fall into a routine of stress, rushing and checking our phones. We forget that some people went to sleep last night and never opened their eyes again. We forget that someone, somewhere, would give anything for just one more sunrise, one more conversation, one more moment with the people they love. Gratitude is not about pretending life is perfect. It's about recognizing that even in its imperfection, life is still a gift. Being grateful to wake up today also shifts your mindset. It reminds you to stop focusing on what's missing and start appreciating what's present. The roof over your head, the chance to start over, the people in your life, your heartbeat, your breath. These may seem like small things, that is the number are actually everything. Gratitude doesn't wait for big achievements. It thrives in the ordinary. That is the number R. And when you begin your day with that perspective, it changes the way you handle everything else that follows. This kind of morning gratitude grounds you. It gives you resilience. When challenges come, and they will, you're already rooted in the awareness that life is precious, that every moment matters. This doesn't make the hard days disappear, but it gives you a reason to face them. When you're thankful just to be alive, you're more likely to use your time wisely, treat others with care, and take nothing for granted. Gratitude becomes your compass. So, before the world demands your attention, before you get pulled into responsibilities or problems, pause and say it again. I am grateful to wake up today. Say it like a prayer. Say it like a promise to live fully. Let those words soften your heart and sharpen your focus. Because no matter what today holds, you have already received a gift many are still hoping for. The gift of today. 2. I am enough, exactly as I am. These words are not just a statement. They are a quiet revolution. In a world that constantly tells you to be more, do more, look better, earn more, achieve faster, it is an act of strength to pause and say, I am already enough. We're conditioned to believe that our worth is tied to our performance, our appearance, or our ability to please others. But you, as you are right now, with your scars, your imperfections, your unfinished story, are already whole. Too many of us walk through life feeling like we're not measuring up, not successful enough, not attractive enough, not smart enough, not worthy enough of love or belonging. We compare ourselves endlessly, looking outward for validation, while ignoring the quiet truth that has always lived within us. We were never meant to earn our worth. We were born with it. You do not need to prove your value. Your existence alone is proof. Accepting that you are enough doesn't mean you stop growing or striving. It means you stop hating yourself in the process. It means you can improve your life without believing you are broken. You can pursue goals without punishing yourself along the way. It means giving yourself permission to be a work in progress and a masterpiece at the same time, because self-acceptance isn't the end of growth. It's the foundation of it. When you believe you are enough, you stop settling for relationships that treat you like you're not. You stop chasing approval and start honoring your own voice. You begin to set boundaries, not because you're cold, but because you finally realize you deserve peace. You start making choices that nourish your soul instead of draining it. And little by little, you return to yourself, not the version of you the world expects, but the real, raw, beautiful version that's been there all along. So each morning, before the world tries to tell you who to be, remind yourself, I am enough exactly as I am. Say it until your doubts grow quiet. Say it until your inner critic softens. Say it until you believe it. Not just with your mind, but with your heart. Because you don't need to become someone else to be worthy. You already are. And that is more than enough. 3. Today is a fresh start. These words carry quiet hope and powerful freedom. No matter what yesterday held, regret, mistakes, missed opportunities, or heartbreak, today stands in front of you like a blank canvas. It does not ask you to be perfect. It simply invites you to begin again. The beauty of life is that every morning offers this silent gift, the chance to reset, to make a new choice, to take a different step. You are not bound to yesterday. You are not defined by your past. We often live trapped in cycles of guilt and self-blame. We replay conversations in our heads, dwell on what we should have done, and carry the heavy burden of who we used to be. But what if just for today you chose to forgive yourself? What if you stopped dragging the weight of old pain into a day that hasn't hurt you yet? Letting go is not forgetting. It's freeing yourself to grow. And that growth starts with recognizing that today is not yesterday. A fresh start doesn't mean starting over completely. It means choosing to show up differently. It could be choosing patience over frustration, choosing compassion over criticism, choosing progress over perfection. Even the smallest change in mindset, routine, or response can become a powerful turning point. You don't have to fix everything today. You just have to begin. And sometimes beginning again is the bravest thing you can do. There is something sacred about mornings. The world is quiet. The sky slowly opens. Your heart has a moment to breathe before the noise begins. In that space, you are offered a decision. Will you carry yesterday's shadows into today's light? Or will you stand up, dust yourself off, and step forward, even if it's with shaky feet? Every sunrise is life's way of saying, you still have time. And as long as you have time, you have power. So say it gently, but say it firmly. Today is a fresh start. Let it remind you that you are not stuck, that your story is still unfolding. That hope isn't lost. It's waiting in the next choice you make. This is your moment to breathe in renewal, to rise above what was, and to walk into what could be. And no matter how many times you've fallen, you are always allowed to begin again. For I will give my best, not perfection. In a world obsessed with flawless outcomes, this reminder is a quiet rebellion. We're constantly told to be perfect, to have the perfect body, the perfect job, the perfect life. But perfection is an illusion, and chasing it often leaves us feeling inadequate and exhausted. Giving your best means showing up with honesty, heart, and effort, not because you're flawless, but because you care, and that is enough. Your best is not measured by how perfect the result is, but by how sincerely you tried. Perfectionism is a silent thief. It steals your joy, your peace, and sometimes even your motivation to begin. When we believe that only perfection is acceptable, we delay action, avoid risks, and silently punish ourselves for being human. But when we choose to give our best instead, we give ourselves permission to grow. We replace fear with effort, comparison with courage. Giving your best allows room for learning, for mistakes, for grace, all of which are essential parts of becoming who you're meant to be. Giving your best also honors your energy and your limits. Some days, your best will look like bold confidence and high productivity. Other days, your best might be simply getting out of bed, showing up, and trying again. And that's okay. You are not a machine. You're a living, breathing soul with emotional tides, mental weight, and a body that needs rest as much as it needs ambition. Giving your best is not about overworking yourself. It's about giving what's real and true for that moment without guilt or shame. When you choose effort over perfection, you also become more compassionate with others. You start seeing people not as flawless beings, but as humans doing their best, just like you. You stop holding impossible expectations. You start building deeper relationships based on honesty, forgiveness, and shared understanding. And that shift doesn't just make you kinder to others. It softens how you treat yourself. You begin to recognize that you're worthy, not because you always succeed, but because you keep showing up with heart. So every morning, look in the mirror and say it with gentleness and strength. I will give my best, not perfection. Then walk into your day with the freedom to try, to stumble, to learn, and to grow. Your best is enough, not because it's flawless, but because it's true. And in a world chasing image and approval, being real is one of the most powerful things you can be. 5. I have the strength to face anything that comes my way. This isn't just a motivational phrase. It is a truth you carry in your bones, whether you realize it or not. Life has tested you before. You've faced storms you didn't think you'd survive. You've stood in moments of heartbreak, confusion, fear. And yet here you are, still breathing, still standing, still capable of rising again. Strength isn't always loud or visible. Sometimes it's just the quiet decision to keep going one moment at a time. We often underestimate our own resilience because we only see our struggles, not our survival. We focus on how hard things were, forgetting how strong we had to be just to get through them. Maybe no one saw the tears you cried behind closed doors. Maybe no one witnessed the inner battles you fought just to make it through the day. But you did, and that means there is something unbreakable in you. Something no hardship could destroy. Having strength doesn't mean you never feel fear or doubt. It means you move forward despite them. It means that even when the path is unclear, you choose to take a step anyway. Strength is choosing hope over despair. It's showing up when you'd rather disappear. It's facing a difficult day with grace, even when your heart is heavy. And every time you do that, you become more grounded in the truth that you are capable. Even when life feels overwhelming, there will be days when the weight feels too heavy, when you wonder if you can handle what lies ahead. In those moments, You must return to your inner knowing, the part of you that remembers everything you've already survived. Remind yourself that strength is not about never breaking. It's about choosing to rebuild. It's about trusting that the version of you on the other side of this hardship will be wiser, softer, and even more resilient. So when you wake up in the morning before fear or pressure tries to steal your peace, tell yourself, I have the strength to face anything that comes my way. Say it like a promise. Say it until it sinks deep into your spirit, because you are not weak. You are not fragile. You are not alone. You are powerful, not because life is easy, but because you continue to rise even when it's hard. And that is real strength. 6, I choose peace over pressure. In a world that constantly demands more work, more speed, more results. This is not just a statement. It's a powerful act of rebellion. We live in a culture where our worth is often measured by how busy we are, how much we produce, and how fast we move. But peace doesn't come from meeting every expectation. Peace comes from knowing who you are, what you need, and giving yourself permission to move at your own rhythm. You were not made to be a machine. You were made to live, breathe, and be. Every day you're surrounded by voices, deadlines whispering urgency, comparison screaming you're not doing enough, society subtly convincing you to chase more and rest less. But peace is the quiet voice within that says, you are allowed to slow down. You are allowed to breathe. You are allowed to protect your spirit. Choosing peace means choosing yourself. It means realizing that your mental and emotional well-being are worth more than anything you could ever achieve under pressure. Pressure often disguises itself as productivity, but not all movement is progress. Running faster doesn't help if you're running in the wrong direction. Choosing peace invites you to pause and ask, is this bringing me joy? Is this aligning with who I truly am? Sometimes peace looks like saying no. Sometimes it looks like stepping away, taking a break, or doing less so you can live more fully. That's not weakness. That's wisdom. Peace isn't the absence of challenge. It's the presence of clarity. When you choose peace, you create space to think clearly, to feel deeply, and to respond thoughtfully. You stop reacting out of stress and start acting from alignment. Peace gives you power, the power to remain grounded in storms, to remain kind in conflict, to remain centered when everything around you feels out of control. And that kind of peace isn't found outside. It's something you build and protect from within. So each morning, before pressure pulls you in 100 directions, speak these words over your life. I choose peace over pressure. Let them guide your breath, your decisions, your pace. You don't have to prove your worth today. You don't have to burn yourself out to be seen. You are already enough, and you are allowed to choose peace, not later, not when everything is done. Now, 7, I deserve love, respect, and kindness, starting with myself. These words are not just a gentle reminder, they are a truth that far too many of us forget. We spend so much of our lives looking outward, waiting for others to treat us with care, to validate our worth, to offer us the kindness we so willingly give to everyone else. That is the number R. The most important relationship you will ever have is the one you have with yourself. When you begin to believe that you are worthy of love, not because of what you do, but because of who you are, something begins to shift. You stop begging for crumbs and start building a feast of compassion within. Too often, we are our own harshest critics. We replay our mistakes. We magnify our flaws. We hold ourselves to impossible standards. We speak to ourselves in ways we would never dare speak to someone we care about. But imagine the healing that would begin if you chose today to treat yourself like someone you love. What if instead of tearing yourself down, you offered yourself the patience and understanding you so freely give to others? That shift is where true self-worth begins, not in perfection, but in self-acceptance. Respect and kindness are not things you earn by doing more. They are things you inherently deserve as a human being. When you recognize your own worth, you begin to attract and allow relationships that reflect it. You stop tolerating disrespect. You stop shrinking to keep others comfortable. You stop accepting love that feels more like survival than safety. Because the way you love yourself sets the standard for how others will love you. It's not selfish. It's foundational. And it starts with how you show up for you. Loving yourself doesn't mean you never change. It means you care enough about yourself to grow from a place of compassion instead of criticism. It means you can acknowledge where you want to improve without hating where you are right now. Self-kindness gives you the courage to evolve without abandoning yourself. You begin to nurture yourself the way a gardener tends to a plant. Not by yelling at it to grow, but by giving it sunlight, water, and time. So each morning, look yourself in the mirror and say with unwavering belief, I deserve love, respect, and kindness, starting with myself. Say it until it no longer feels like a question, but a truth deeply rooted in your soul. Because when you treat yourself with love, the world begins to mirror it back. And even when it doesn't, you'll know that your worth isn't up for debate because you've already claimed it from within. 8. I will not compare my journey to anyone else's. These words carry a quiet kind of freedom, the kind that allows you to breathe, to step back from the noise, and to return to yourself. We live in a world where comparison is constant. Social media shows us polished highlights of other people's lives, their achievements, their relationships, their confidence, their success. It's easy to forget that we're not seeing the full picture. We compare our behind the scenes to someone else's carefully curated front stage, and in doing so, we often begin to feel like we're falling behind. But your path was never meant to look like anyone else's. You are not late. You are not slow. You are not broken just because your life is unfolding differently. Growth doesn't happen on a universal schedule. Some flowers bloom in spring, others in summer, and some not until autumn. The timing doesn't make one more beautiful than the other. It simply means each has its own season. Your story is unfolding at exactly the pace it's meant to. Trust that. When you compare yourself to others, you begin to question your worth, your choices, and your progress. You forget how far you've come. You stop celebrating your small wins. You begin to see life as a race instead of a journey. But the truth is, no one is running the same race as you. You have your own challenges to face, your own lessons to learn, your own triumphs to embrace. The only person you need to be better than is the version of you from yesterday. Freedom begins the moment you stop measuring your value by someone else's progress. When you release the need to compete, you open space for peace. You begin to walk with more confidence, more joy, and more presence. You start honoring your own growth, even if it's quiet, even if it's slow, even if no one else notices. Because growth that's true to your soul is more meaningful than success that was never meant for you. So remind yourself each morning, I will not compare my journey to anyone else's. Say it until the pressure fades, until the envy softens, until you can truly celebrate who you are and where you are. You are not behind. You are becoming. And the road you're on, with all its twists and turns, is leading you exactly where you're meant to go. Trust it, walk it, own it, because it's yours and no one can live it the way you do. 9. I will find joy in small moments. Challenges often arrive uninvited, disrupting the flow of our lives and testing our patience, strength, and resolve. It's natural to resist discomfort and wish for smoother paths, but embracing challenges means choosing to see these moments not as setbacks, but as powerful invitations to learn and evolve. Each obstacle carries with it a hidden lesson, a chance to discover new strengths, uncover resilience we didn't know we had, and deepen our understanding of ourselves. When we shift our perspective from fear to curiosity, we transform difficulties into stepping stones on the path to becoming our fullest selves. Growth rarely happens in comfort zones. It happens in the cracks where we feel vulnerable and uncertain, where we must stretch beyond familiar limits. Facing challenges head on requires courage, but it also builds character, patience, and wisdom. Every challenge you overcome adds a layer of strength and confidence that no success alone could provide. It is through these moments that you truly learn what you're capable of, not just in theory, but in practice. The pressure, the struggle, and even the failures become meaningful parts of your story, shaping a more resilient, adaptable, and compassionate you. So each day, remind yourself to welcome challenges with open arms and an open heart. Say, I embrace challenges as opportunities to grow, knowing that every difficult moment is preparing you for something greater. When you see challenges this way, you stop running from fear and start running toward growth. You become a person who doesn't just survive hardships, but thrives because of them. Stronger, wiser, and more deeply connected to your true potential. 10. Mistakes are lessons, not labels. To truly understand that I am in control of my thoughts and emotions is to reclaim your personal power. Our minds are often flooded with countless thoughts, some helpful, others destructive, and emotions can sometimes feel like wild storms beyond our control. But the truth is, while we cannot always control what happens around us, we have the ability to choose how we respond internally. Recognizing that you hold the reins to your mental and emotional landscape is both empowering and liberating. It means you can shift from being a passive observer, swept away by external chaos, to an active participant who navigates life with intention and calm. This control doesn't mean suppressing or ignoring difficult feelings. Emotions are vital signals that inform us about our needs, boundaries, and experiences. Instead, it means acknowledging those emotions without letting them dictate your actions or cloud your judgment. When you practice mindfulness and self-awareness, you learn to observe your thoughts and feelings without immediate reaction. You create a space between stimulus and response where you can choose peace over panic, patience over anger, and clarity over confusion. This skill grows with time and practice, but the more you embrace it, the more grounded and resilient you become in the face of life's ups and downs. Owning control of your thoughts and emotions ultimately leads to greater freedom. It frees you from the grip of negativity, anxiety, and impulsiveness. It allows you to cultivate positive thinking and emotional balance, setting the tone for your actions and decisions. This control becomes a steady anchor, keeping you centered even when the world feels unpredictable. So, remind yourself daily, I am in control of my thoughts and emotions. Let it guide you toward greater self-mastery, inner peace, and a life led with intention rather than reaction. 11. Or I have something valuable to offer the world. I trust the timing of my life. This simple yet profound affirmation invites you to release the constant pressure of rushing through milestones or comparing your progress to others. In a world that glorifies speed and immediate results, it's easy to feel behind or frustrated when things don't happen as quickly as you'd like. But life's timing isn't a schedule set by external expectations. It's a unique rhythm tailored to your growth, healing, and readiness. Trusting this timing means believing that everything is unfolding exactly as it should, even when the path isn't clear or the destination seems far away. Trusting the timing of your life also means embracing patience as an act of faith. It requires you to lean into uncertainty with hope, knowing that delays, detours, and waiting periods are often the quiet work of preparation. These moments shape your character, deepen your wisdom, and build resilience that no shortcut could provide. When you let go of the need to control every outcome or predict every step, you open yourself to the possibility that the universe may have plans far greater than you can imagine. Trust is not passive resignation, but an active choice to believe in the unfolding process of your journey. Living in trust of your own timing transforms anxiety into acceptance and frustration into peace. It frees you from the comparison trap and the race to keep up. Instead, it encourages you to focus on what you can do today to nurture your dreams without forcing them, and to honor where you are right now. So, each day remind yourself with conviction, I trust the timing of my life. Let this be your anchor in moments of doubt and your quiet encouragement to keep moving forward, steadily, surely, and in alignment with your own unique path. 12. Today, I will be kind to others and to myself, or I am worthy of rest and renewal. In a society that often equates busyness with success and self-worth with productivity, this affirmation is a crucial act of self-care and rebellion. Too often, we push ourselves to the brink, chasing deadlines, meeting expectations, and striving for achievements, only to forget that rest is not a luxury, but a necessity. Embracing your worthiness of rest means recognizing that your body, mind, and soul need moments of pause to heal, recharge, and flourish. It is an act of honoring yourself, valuing your well-being, and understanding that you cannot pour from an empty cup. Rest and renewal are not signs of weakness or failure. They are essential parts of a balanced, sustainable life when you allow yourself to step back, to breathe deeply, that is the number R, that to disconnect from the endless demands of the world. You give your spirit space to regenerate. This sacred time of rest fuels creativity, strengthens resilience, and nurtures mental clarity. It's in these moments that your deepest self is able to realign with your purpose, gaining strength to face new challenges with renewed energy and fresh perspective. Worthiness of rest is also a reminder to treat yourself with kindness, to listen to your body's signals, respect your limits, and practice self-compassion. By affirming your worthiness of rest and renewal each day, you break free from the cycle of burnout and exhaustion that many fall into. You create a foundation of balance where productivity and peace coexist, where ambition is supported by self-care, and where your well-being is prioritized alongside your goals. Say it with conviction: I am worthy of rest and renewal. Let these words remind you that taking time to nurture yourself is not selfish, but necessary, because your greatest work comes from a place of wholeness, not depletion.